This guy is being chased by forces of 12 countries, and they still can't catch him. Meet John Cleanse, a mastermind mafia boss from Nigeria. John was a smart boy in school and always had good grades. But one day when he came home after school, he witnessed something that completely traumatized him. His parents were unalived and lying on the floor in front of him. Upon asking people, they told him that Kai, a mafia boss of that time, had unalived them. After the tragic loss of his parents, John dedicated his life to seeking justice. With his sharp mind, he wasn't just any kid, he was someone with a mission. John delved into the underworld, learning the ways of the mafia, all while keeping his true intentions hidden. As years passed, John climbed the ranks, becoming a well-known mastermind in the criminal world. He was always one step ahead, using his intelligence to outsmart the authorities and his rivals. John's reputation eventually brought him face to face with Kai, the very person who had caused his deepest pain. Kai, unaware, had unknowingly befriended his own adversary. Their first meeting was by chance, but it grew into a calculated alliance. John saw an opportunity to get closer to his enemy and didn't hesitate to take it. They started working on small deals together, their partnership built on mutual respect for each other's cunning and skill. As they pulled off job after job, their trust in each other solidified. It wasn't long before they were more than just allies. They became partners in crime, celebrating their successes in the city's most vibrant clubs. Now at this moment, John felt that Kai strongly trusts him, and it is the moment to take his revenge. While hanging out in a club, John and Kai were sharing laughs and drinks. This is where John had set up the end of Kai. He was about to give a signal to unalive him. That's when the bombshell dropped. The man next to him, who John had been plotting against, thinking he was Kai, leaned in and spilled a secret. He wasn't the real Kai at all, but just someone working for him. This was huge news, and it hit John like a lightning bolt. All this time, he thought, he was getting close to his enemy, but he was just getting to know one of his helpers. John could have been mad, but instead, he saw a golden chance. He decided to play it cool and use this to his advantage. By staying patient and winning this guy's trust, John figured he could get even closer to the real Kai. After that revelation, John had been thinking about this all the time. John got to know that the name of the fake Kai is Marco. One night, after stepping out of the club, John casually asked Marco that why is Kai hiding himself when he has such a strong base in the criminal world. Marco told him that there's a German mafia group led by a man named Finn, twice as deadly as him. For years, there had been a conflict going on between both the groups, and both wants to destroy each other. So, because of this conflict, Kai can't step into the light, as his life's on the line every second. After hearing this, John's mind started racing. He started to plan that if he partnered up with Finn, it will be a lot easier for him to unalive Kai. But there was still a problem. John didn't know where Kai was hiding. After a lot of thinking, he came up with an idea. John planned that if he unalives Finn, he will automatically gain the trust of Kai, and Kai won't hide anymore. So John made a whole plan and executed it. After unaliving the whole group, John stood in front of Finn, pointing a gun towards him. But Finn said something that provoked John into deep thought. Finn asked John, why did he wanted to kill him? John lowered the gun and looked straight into Finn's eyes and said, to earn Kai's trust, and immediately shot him. After this incident, John became the most popular person in Underworld. Every mafia group in the world started fearing John, as he ended the whole group of the man who ruled the underworld for a decade. The next day, when John returned to his base, Marco came to him and said something for which he had been waiting for so long. Marco told John that Kai wanted to meet him. John smiled as he was getting closer to his destination and immediately agreed on Marco's request. They both went to a secret base where Kai had been hiding all this time. That base was covered with heavy security, and John knew that if he unalived Kai, he won't be able to escape. After a few minutes, they were standing out of a room. As they entered, John saw a man sitting on a chair looking towards him. He was Kai. Kai welcomed John like a special guest. They sat together and talked about all the time they have been working together through Marco. Kai offered John to partner up in all the businesses he owns. John realized that if he accepts this offer, he will be able to know all the network around Kai, and he can easily plan his revenge. John, without any hesitation, accepted this offer. A month passed and John gained control over all the network around Kai. He knew that if he had to unalive Kai, he would have to break that network first. When everyone trusted him, he began executing his plan, steadily unaliving all the important people in Kai's circle without becoming a suspect. Kai, in panic, called John to discuss all these problems he had been facing. As John entered Kai's office, a few most important people of Kai's businesses, including Kai and Marco, were sitting and waiting for him. As Kai was about to say something, John pulled out his gun and unalived all the people in the room, except Kai. Kai looked at him in shock and wasn't able to believe his eyes. John, the guy he trusted the most, was the one behind all this. He asked John why. John told him his past story and how Kai destroyed his life. Kai said that John had destroyed everything that Kai made over all his life, and he pleaded with John to end his suffering as well. Yet John turned away, leaving him abandoned, powerless, and stripped of all his riches to face his end alone.